This is the RIOT podcast, back after a big 2-day break.
Woo! Also known as the weekend.
Hello.
Oh, bye-bye weekend.
So I'm sure you guys had as much fun as we did.
Hopefully so.
Something I allude to in this podcast, I don't normally do this, but I did some public speaking this weekend, and I tweeted a video out of it. So if you follow me on Twitter, you can find it at Obadiah RadioU. I only bring it up because it's a subject that's kind of personal for me. You've heard me talk on the show about depression and anxiety, and this is a long-form discussion about it that you would normally get here on the radio. So,
do you feel like you would like to post that on our Facebook page?
Yeah, I just don't know if that's
Maybe.
be okay. We'll see. But
Okay.
I'll tell you this. It's I tweeted it.
If it becomes okay, then we'll see it there. If we decide not to, then you can find it at his Twitter.
Yeah, so that's a thing, but you guys can hear there what that's about. So that's kind of long form. That's not the only thing I did this weekend, though. I also did an Obadiah Plays, which you can find on our Facebook page, because I can't get it to post anywhere else. And I'm just
issues.
a little bitter about it.
That's at RadioU RIOT on Facebook. And yes, Obadiah Plays. And again, if we get the ability to put that anywhere else, we will too.
Okay, so other things in the podcast today. We talk about that Deadpool movie. Get it wrong, then someone gets it right.
Deadpool Christmas.
We talk about the urinating mailman.
Oh, gosh.
The problems I had with my microphone and my mailman. And we remind everybody not to send iTunes to gift cards to
even
Bruce Springsteen.
Celebrities.
Yeah.
Celebrities of any, level.
And then the other thing that is in here that's important is that you're going to hear how much Nikki isn't willing to sacrifice her free time for her dog.
Yeah, apparently I don't want to be a doggy mom in that way.
Not one that cares.
Not one enough.
So you guys enjoy the podcast today. And we'll be back tomorrow.
Don't forget to join us, RadioU RIOT on Facebook. We would love to hear from you there.
It's the RIOT.
Awful, terrible, horrible, pathetic. Someone grab me a thesaurus. I'm gonna need more words to describe how bad these guys are. It's the worst of the RIOT on RadioU.
So, your mail carrier.
This is bad.
When's the last time you stopped in and, talked to them?
Even though I don't think I could tell you the last time, at least at my house, they don't walk around. They drive around.
Yeah, me too. I've got the mailbox at the end of the driveway, and they just pull up. And
so outside of like UPS or FedEx, they're not coming actually up to the door.
Though I have a tale to tell you about my mail carrier, but we'll get to that later. So we've got somebody in Memphis, Tennessee, who has a doorbell camera. And I remember seeing ads for doorbell cameras and being like, these are dumb. You don't need a doorbell camera. Like,
No,
whatever.
it's worth having.
But you know what? It appears that there is crazy stuff happening at your house when you're not watching.
And you don't want to miss it. So this is like one of those ads for it.
Unbelievable. So here we go. Memphis, Tennessee, a USPS worker whose name that, as far as I know, has not yet been released. You can see him, and they've blurred it out enough, walking up to the porch, and he has unzipped, and this amazes me, he's walking and peeing.
At the same time, he walks from the porch is like a longer one, so he goes up a couple of steps, and then you're like, what is all that?
What does he do?
And he's just peeing as he walks to the door.
He pees all over the porch, and then he seems to maybe like in a bush for a second, and then just kind of on the house, and then
I don't know how he doesn't notice the camera at the doorbell, but
he doesn't seem to care. And here's the
he
part.
does not.
Here's the part that I love. The lady that discovered the video, she's like, he then uses that hand to put the mail in the mailbox.
And she didn't at first notice that the stream of liquid.
That's what I didn't see.
All over the porch was that. I mean, it's not water.
When I saw it at first, I was like, oh, he just, because, sometimes headlines, they're like, make a big deal out of it. But it's like, he just went over and peed in this bush. Now, I can't condone it. I can't. And yet, there's this thing where you're like, man, sometimes you gotta go.
But he wasn't. He was just going all over the porch.
I can't say like, I feel that. I've peed on my neighbor's porch a few times when I just couldn't get home. I can't. Like, can't. No, wrong.
So it just makes me wonder if this is something that he just does. Because, I don't know. That's just what he does.
I'll tell you what it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder all those times that I've walked outside and been like, I think it rained last night.
You're just like, why is it wet here? You have no idea.
What does it mean?
So
Did it rain?
Are they investigating this guy, or is there any punishment for him?
Okay, here we go. I'll read you their official response. This behavior clearly does not reflect the efforts of the thousands of professional, dedicated carriers in our workforce. We are reaching out to the homeowner to offer our apology and assistance in dealing with this issue. The Postal Service will take appropriate corrective action to address the situation with this employee. As a matter of policy, we are unable to comment further on specific personnel matters.
Well, shame on this guy. Bad.
What?
Don't just do that on someone's porch.
What? You know what bothers me is I feel like with the haphazard way in which he's behaving, he's getting it on his shoes probably.
No, it must be all over him. It must be all over his clothes.
And he's okay with that.
He doesn't seem to care.
Hey, Nikki, I'm not okay with this.
Good. I don't think anybody should.
In fact, when I tell you what my mail carrier did this weekend, it seems positively fine.
Compared to this?
No big deal.
But did your mail person do something?
Well, maybe. I'll tell you. But like I said, compared to this, who cares?
The Riot spent their entire advertising and promotion budget on catering and craft services.
The junk that guy eats has finally caught up with you.
So please tell your friends. It's The Riot on RadioU.
If you were to go to the RadioU Facebook page right now,
what would be there?
You could see a brand new Obadiah plays.
Yay! Did you play Forza?
I did.
Yay! Did you use a new microphone?
I did.
Yay!
Yay! It was all fantastic, which is what brings us to my mail carrier.
Yeah.
On Friday I got my mic and my microphone, and I got it downstairs plugged in. I'm like, man, this is great, but I need a different mic stand. And so I spent a bunch of time on Amazon Friday night looking at different mic stands, and I found one where I was like, you know what? I think this is going to work. It's funny. It's not what I thought I would buy. I thought I would get something that looked more like what we have in the studio, et cetera, et cetera. But I ended up going with, what do they call it? Like a mic stand that looks like what you would mic like a bass drum with or something. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a rotating arm, whatever mic. And I think it was like $25. I paid more for the mic stand than I did for the microphone.
Well, that's something. It's fine.
But you know, whatever.
Your other was on sale.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Whatever. So there's that. And I also ordered, I've got an older Logitech webcam, and it's funny, it's just as good as their new ones, but their new ones have a little screw in them that lets you mount them in all kinds of good places. And so I didn't want to buy a new webcam, but I was like, you know what? There's got to be something out there. And so I found a webcam mount that is like an arm that can be moved around and put in all these different positions, and it will basically grab a hold of my webcam so I can use it. Super excited. I'm like, guys,
seems good.
I'm building a studio.
And this is just, of course, to increase your viewing happiness when watching Obadiah play, so you can see the quality and the work that went into it.
I'm just excited about it.
You have a nicer setup.
I got home yesterday, and I ordered those on Friday night, and Amazon delivers on Sunday, so I'm like, great. And so I pull up into my driveway when I'm coming home yesterday, and the mail person has just placed these in the middle of like the driveway, so I can't park. I'm like, what?
The box is in the middle of the driveway?
Yeah, keep in mind the porch is just
right there.
It's just right there.
You're not supposed to put it in the driveway.
It's just right there.
I think it's actually built into the price for the delivery. It's supposed to go on the porch.
All you got to do is like, it's not even effort. I mean, maybe it's 3 steps, maybe.
At least he didn't throw it. I mean, he could have thrown it.
I don't know.
Maybe he threw it onto the driveway.
I don't know.
He just couldn't throw as far.
Here's the part that gets me is that, you know, I'm like, yes, the stuff is here. I'm so setting it up. And I run up and there's this big heavy box, and then there's an envelope, like a bubble mailer, that obviously that was what had my webcam thing in it. And it's just an envelope.
So
there's nothing in it.
Oh, someone took it?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just love the fact.
They didn't pee all over the stuff.
Not that I know of.
I mean, that's the bright side. Yeah, it's gone, but I mean, your porch is okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's always sad when you're like, oh, that's going to be a problem.
Well, Amazon was pretty cool about it. Like
They're fine, usually.
Yeah, like I got my money back and I reordered it, and they gave me $5 for my trouble.
Oh, that's good. And you let them know, hey.
Just to let you know, this guy just threw it in my driveway.
And that's probably why it was stolen. Because you could just see it.
The love and care that was placed on this. Yeah, I don't know. It was.
I don't think we realize how often people steal from porches, because I'm on this community like Facebook page and people in my area.
Yeah.
And every day it's like, hey, guys, did someone happen to accidentally get my package? And you're like, no, it just seems like it was probably stolen. So there's a lot of people that just take things from
Porch pirates.
Yeah, it just seems like no one likes that, guys. We just wanted stuff we ordered. That's all we want.
So I think it's coming down to we're going to have to get those cameras for our front porch.
I got
because
one.
That way we'll be able to see, deliveries. I mean, unless they just walk it and throw it in the middle of your driveway. And, we'll see whether when they are delivering, are they leaving a little something behind?
Sure. It's good to know if someone's taking things, and then that way you have proof if someone does fight you on it. Like if you ordered something expensive, you could show, all right, someone stole it, and you can see it right here.
So if you're interested, if you want a little extra time with Obadiah today, I played Forza Horizon 4, and I also, there's a mic clipping issue. I found out what it was.
I wondered, yeah.
It's, it's the software that came with my capture card.
Gotta go again. Gotta try something else now.
So, yeah, I gotta go to work on that. I finally found out. I thought it was the old microphone, but when I listened back to it with the new stuff last night and it was there, I was like, uh-oh, I'm about to throw something.
You're almost there with your setup.
My favorite part of the worst of the riot, when they shut up and the music starts. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Nikki.
Yes?
Last week was premiere week.
For new shows.
Yeah.
You're right.
Did you watch anything?
I did not. I am a disappointment when it comes to broadcast, like network television.
I feel like such a hater because anytime we talk about TV, all I ever have to say is, yeah, it's dumb. I don't watch it. That's all I have to add to the conversation.
We're not the only ones, because broadcast television is down. But we will be like, oh, this new series is on such and such is streaming now. We will watch premieres that way.
So on Netflix, I watched, what was the Jonah Hill one?
Oh, Manic.
I watched the first episode of that. Mm-hmm. And then I watched the first episode of Kung Fu Hustle.
Iron Fist.
And I think that's it. And then, but I mean, those are not broadcast shows. Those are just Netflix shows. On broadcast, you had a bunch of stuff that premiered last week, including, and this is the one I'm looking at here, Tim Allen's Last Man Standing.
Oh, it's back on Fox now, right?
It got canceled at ABC, and they got picked up at Fox, and it was on Friday night, and it had the highest comedy ratings for Fox that they've had in 7 years.
See, Friday night is not the best night, too, which is why that's so impressive.
Oh, sure. Not to mention, Nikki, it's a political statement.
It is, because, they got canceled in one, and some people believe politics was involved in that, and then it got brought to the other. And then that also was around the time people got mad. What was it, that Brooklyn Nine-Nine or whatever? Because they're like, how could you...
Fox canceled that.
Not bring back that show, even though that had really low numbers. So
didn't Fox cancel that and ABC picked that up, or NBC picked it up?
NBC picked that up because that was originally an NBC production, or at least back in the very beginning, it was supposed to go to NBC. Okay, but then Fox had it.
Nikki, there's an old saying that one network's trash is another network's treasure.
That's true. It's true.
That seems to be the case right here. So it says that the show has drawn bigger numbers than this. So even though for Fox, those are really fantastic numbers, for the show, they peaked in their 4th season at about 8 million viewers. And on Friday night, they had about 7 million.
Well, but still, Fox is probably like, people are watching.
Man, we're just excited that the TV is on.
Yes, someone's watching something.
Somebody turned the TV on.
I used to like that show. I watched the first couple of seasons.
I watched the first season of it.
Again, we're not, and for some reason, I can't turn on I can turn on the TV,
You
but
can.
I just can't
You
turn
choose
on
not to.
broadcast for some reason. I don't even do that anymore.
Do you need an HD antenna?
No, I have one.
Oh, okay.
I just don't
You're saying
change
you
the source.
choose not to.
I just choose not to for,
choose
again,
not
some
to.
real odd, very, very odd reason.
I don't think it's odd. I think it's honest. Honest. It's fine. You just aren't interested.
Well, I'm glad it did well, though.
Sure.
We're not going to watch any of it.
I'm not.
So you didn't catch anything else?
For real. No, I didn't. I didn't watch anything I did, but I only watched stuff on Netflix.
I understand. Same.
Sorry, Big Four.
We searched for something positive to say about the riot and finally came up with one word. Consistent. Consistently terrible, but still consistent. RadioU.
Friday here on the show, we talked about the Dark Phoenix trailer, the new X-Men movie. It was supposed to be out on
Valentine's Day. They're pulling a Deadpool.
And so we watched the trailer, and I was kind of about it. I don't understand what my problem is, but maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just on everything.
No. Maybe the problem's not with you.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it's with the trailer.
It could be. I saw a lot of people that were excited about it, and I was like, man, all right. Okay. That being said, did you hear the news Friday night?
No, what was it?
Well, they've moved the release date of Dark Phoenix after the day they announced. Why
would you do that
They
so
announced
fast?
the release date on the day.
Why would you just maybe wait a little bit? Or were they saying that the Valentine stuff was wrong and that was not the right date?
It's all about to get weirder. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So it was Valentine's Day. So they have moved it from Valentine's Day to June 7th of next year. That's weird, but not the weirdest. Okay. But do you want to know why they moved it?
Well, because is it up against too many other movies that day?
Because in December, they're going to release another Deadpool movie.
Really? Wait, why? Okay.
See, there it is.
That did just get weird. Why does first off, why didn't think that was coming up so soon? Is it a real Deadpool movie or for sure this Christmas?
I am telling you, I did not believe it either. But unless I've just been
Didn't
trolled.
Deadpool come out? Was it this spring or was that last spring?
It is going to be a Deadpool movie out at Christmas. Some people are saying it's going to be a Deadpool Christmas movie, but I don't know if it's actually going to be, around Deadpool. But unless I am grossly misunderstanding it, it is a theatrically released movie that will be out around Christmas time.
Well, why does that affect Valentine's Day for X-Men?
I don't know.
They're just saying that
maybe
they're
saying
Deadpool will still be making money by then. Could be. That is really
might
weird.
Not be out of the question, because that would be if you release Deadpool, or let's say Christmas Day, which whatever. Then Valentine's Day is 7 weeks or so away from Christmas.
Yeah, I guess. I just don't see that, but
I don't see Deadpool as a Valentine's Day movie, but it killed.
Yeah, but, January is such a low month when it comes to movies that it could take over.
Hey, Nikki, Valentine's Day's in February.
No, I meant January is such a low time for movies that if Deadpool comes out at Christmas, it could still take over January all the way up to Valentine's Day.
I know, I just wanted to make you sound dumb.
And thank you for being supportive.
Well,
no,
I was just being honest.
That could be a month for a movie.
It totally
could still last compared to if it was a bigger blockbuster month, it wouldn't last as long.
Well, if you look at call it? Star Wars last year, that was a Christmas-ish movie, and it was still making gangbuster bucks in January. So maybe they think that's what they have on their hands there.
Could be. All right, so X-Men, you get bumped.
Isn't that weird?
I don't know. I guess the Deadpool thing is really odd to me.
It's weird. That means that this year they will have released two Deadpool movies.
Very weird.
Deadpool 2 came out in May?
Something like that.
That sound right? Yeah. All right. Well.
Is Ryan Reynolds that free?
Apparently.
Did they film it at the same time? We just didn't know. Is it even
That's
him?
a great question. Is that real? I will say, I don't know if it came. Did you see the picture of him reading to Fred Savage?
No.
You should see that.
You could be learning jujitsu right now, or how to drive a race car, or do anything productive with your life, but no. You're listening to the worst of the riot on RadioU.
So Sarah just texted this in. It's an article from Game Informer, and it says that the Deadpool movie that we will get at Christmas would be a PG-13 retelling of Deadpool 2. And so the idea, now I thought this photo was just a joke, but apparently it's going to be real. Now, again, like, it's all speculation to a certain extent, but okay, if you've ever seen The Princess Bride, Fred Savage as a kid, he's an actor, is being told a story by his grandpa. And so if this follows what they're saying, there is this photo of adult Fred Savage being read a book by Deadpool, but he's wearing a Christmas hat.
So he'd be read, so then it'd be the same movie?
Well, basically, they're saying that, like,
but
they would do
up a bit?
Right, and for the cleaned up moments, they would cut to Deadpool reading the story to Fred Savage, so that they wouldn't show the more graphic elements,
parts of it. Well, that is weird. Who came up with that? I don't know if could that be interesting to watch.
Well, the thing is, I never did see Deadpool 2.
Maybe this is how you see it then.
And I do think that if this is what they actually do, it's hilarious.
So the Deadpool companion piece is what it's being referred to as. Will get a limited engagement release on December 21st. So it's not Deadpool 3.
Right.
It's a companion to Deadpool 2.
Okay.
So think of it like a re-release with a unique approach to it.
Yeah. It's an interesting idea.
That is.
Now, Game Informer, in their article here, they speculate like, hey, Disney just bought Fox. Fox has been making Marvel movies. So they made 2 Deadpool movies. They got their Fantastic Four movies. They've got their X-Men movies. And so the rumor is that this is them kind of testing the waters to see what they can do with the Fox movies.
Sure.
To bring them into line.
Also, with this retelling, that is just a way to print money again, to have a movie out with not really having a new movie out, but it is still kind of a new movie out. Kinda.
Like, hey, we'll pay Fred Savage and Ryan Reynolds a little money, and then we got a whole other movie.
Little time in the editing bay.
We can release it again.
Yes, a whole new audience, and there you go.
The whole thing. That being said, I will tell you, I said this from the beginning. I saw the original Deadpool, and I appreciate the fact that it's very funny, but a lot of the people are like, yes, we needed an R-rated superhero film, and I would argue that the things that made Deadpool funny were not the R rating, but
not those parts.
Nobody wants to hear that.
The Riot has a problem with authority.
It's a little rule. Maybe you're not familiar with it. Nobody tells me what to do, ever.
Hi, guys.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Happy Monday.
This weekend while you were sleeping, Steve of Boscawen, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was breaking records.
So, I'm sorry. Boscawen was his last name, or is that the town in New Hampshire?
No, that's the town in New Hampshire.
Okay. What was he doing?
Well, Nikki, if you were going to break a record this time of year,
what would it be? Oh, pumpkins. Is it a pumpkin record?
Oh, it's a pumpkin record,
Did
Nikki.
he make a big pumpkin?
A big pumpkin.
How big is it?
It is the largest pumpkin ever grown in North America.
All right.
So he couldn't quite get the world record.
Where else are they growing pumpkins?
Belgium.
Belgium, really?
According to the Guinness Book of World Records, the world's largest pumpkin ever grown
that beer.
was
Belgium beer.
I love that Belgium immediately signaled beer for you.
That's just all I could think of with Belgium.
Because you saw a man in Lederhosen with a pumpkin and a stein, didn't you?
He's just pouring it into his little pumpkin mouth.
A little bit for me,
a little
bit for my friend the pumpkin.
My pumpkin looks thirsty.
He's a thirsty pumpkin. It's how he grows.
It could be what they were doing.
But in German.
Yeah.
So, no, this guy, he won with 2,528 pounds. That pumpkin is
Look at
huge.
the pumpkin behind his, though. Look at the coloring. It looks so much oranger.
This one is just, there isn't like almost a pinkish hue about it if you look closely. But that's because most pumpkins, and gourds, even a lot of fruit, they get so much coloring, and the larger they grow, that coloring kind of
loses it,
spread out. And so nature never intended for this pumpkin to grow this big, Nikki.
Well, congratulations, Steve, for doing that, going against
Nature's intent.
Nature's intent in growing a ginormous pumpkin.
Pumpkins were never meant to drink beer.
But he decided that it could. Oh, he got $6,000 in prize money.
Can you imagine the amount of time he's got wrapped up in this thing? This is
I
not...
think he probably tucks it in. You have to watch those things.
I just want to be clear, like, he did not go out and just water it in the morning and water it at night. He's out there rubbing essential oils on it and singing it songs and talking to it.
Maybe not. Maybe this was just like, oh my gosh, look, the pumpkin grew so big. I wonder if it's a record, and it was.
That's what a 16-pound pumpkin is, Nikki.
No, but when you try, sometimes that's when you get stopped.
You're right.
But when you don't
That's
try, that's when you're just like, oh my gosh, I have just a giant pumpkin.
Scott just dropped a couple of those little Miracle Grow tablets on the ground, and the next thing you know, miracle!
It was just a giant pumpkin.
Where did you get this giant pumpkin? Well, there was an old man at the marketplace when everyone had left, and he said that he had magic pumpkin seeds, and all he wanted was my soul, but I figured he was just...
Okay, now we're just gone too far. Perhaps the man just enjoys he's farming pumpkins. Maybe that's what he's doing.
All right, fine.
Okay, and we're just making all this stuff up.
Yeah,
he's not feeding it beer or pumpkin drugs. It's not a thing.
Yeah, well, your version's so interesting.
It's pumpkin spice steroids because there's pumpkin spice everything. It's not.
This guy is giving this thing a pumpkin spice bath every night. A rub down. All right?
No, it just grew. It just happened.
I don't believe you. Starting your day with the worst of the riot is a great idea because it's guaranteed to get better from here. It's The Riot on RadioU.
Get out your wallets because you owe the gods of commerce.
What are we buying now?
Coming up next Tuesday, you know how Apple had their big press conference? Well, Google's had enough of that noise.
They're going to do one too?
Yep, they'll have their big press conference next week in which they will be unveiling brand new phones that you can be like, one day when I grow up, I'll have a phone like that. And it'll be, it's not the Pixel 2. Will it be the Pixel 3, I believe?
Pixel 3.
Yeah, so the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 3 XL.
Oh, no. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to be clear, they've been calling their phone the XL for the last two editions.
No, that wasn't
not the XS.
No,
that is the Apple.
No, it just feels funny how they're like, every company is willing just to put a shirt size with it. Like, here, this is how you know it's it is the extra large phone. It's not the large.
You guys have an XXL?
Like Max. I mean, I don't like the phone. I don't like that my phone has Max in it.
Do you guys have a Max XL?
We're sizes.
Do you guys have something just a little bit bigger?
Yeah, for when you feel like you just want a little bit more that day.
Something better. But unlike Apple, I mean, I guess there were some Apple rumors and stuff, but like Google they do not have it locked down. Over the weekend, one of the things they're going to announce is the new Google. It's a brand new company. It's very exciting.
What are they selling us?
They're going to sell new Google Chromecasts.
Yeah.
And over the weekend, one of them was sold at Best Buy. So
early?
Someone has one and is out there using it on Reddit, and they've been posting a review and showing pictures and all that kind of stuff.
So Best Buy wasn't supposed to sell them yet, which means they will tell the news about it and then turn around right away, and they're there to sell.
We'll see what happens. But again, I guess Google just hasn't been able to lock things down. There was a Pixel 3 that got left in a car. It was like an Uber or something, and that guy took photos and showed all the different things about it. So, I mean, of course, this could all be viral.
Yeah, because, I mean, with the Pixel that got left in the vehicle, it was just like, oh, so it just happened that the driver of that vehicle was such a Pixel fiend, enthusiast that he would know that this was the phone that's not been released yet in order to take. Like, it's just, odds are very, very shady.
It's possible.
I know it's possible, but it's just weird.
And this Chromecast, again, it could be that Google's out there like, all right, we got to get the word out, but nobody cares. So here's what we're going to do.
Maybe
we need some controversy to go along with this.
I could see it being a tactic with it.
Otherwise, it's just one more hockey puck you plug into the back of your TV. We need something
to make you want this.
So what do you think we can do? I'm open to ideas. I don't know, leak it on Reddit. Perfect.
Send it out.
So that could be the thing. But the thing that makes it not feel like a leak is that they're basically like, yeah, it's the same as the old one.
Oh, really?
It just looks a little different. And it might have Bluetooth enabled, which, no offense, but like I don't even know why you would care.
I don't know.
What? So maybe it would feed a Bluetooth speaker, I guess? I don't know. That's all. That's the only thing I can come up with.
All right. Well, so the Google news seems like hot news. Does it?
Well, when you're... But I was thinking,
just news. It's just news.
I need a thing to plug into a TV, so that's a thing you plug in.
That's an option, too.
Yeah. Man, I'm just so excited. Today's show is it's blowing me away.
It's all the good news.
There are pros and cons to everything in life, except for the riot. Here, it's no pros and all. It's the riot on RadioU.
So, as we're encouraging you to stop by our Facebook page, keep in mind that Facebook had its largest data breach ever over the weekend.
Woo! Oh, you're not supposed to.
I don't think we're supposed to.
Well, if you apply, it makes anything better.
It does? You feel better about it?
Facebook is like, thank you. Thank you so
much. 50 million Facebook user profiles. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, come on.
All right.
Woo!
So, what did we get?
Well, it goes like this. The problem with Facebook is that it's not just a matter of, hey, my Facebook account got hacked. Have you guys ever gone somewhere? And they're like, you can sign in with your Facebook ID. Well, your Facebook ID, if you are signing into other websites, apps, or whatever, if your Facebook ID is compromised, that means that your sign in to those apps and websites and anywhere else also compromised.
Sure.
So you've got to understand when somebody like Facebook, or this did not happen, but I'm saying Google, a place that lets you sign into other places with that ID, that becomes a much bigger deal, because it's not just, what if they post something inappropriate on my Facebook timeline? Who cares? You can just delete it, or Facebook will delete it. This is a little different. This would enable them access to a lot of other things that you've got, which could, be financial information, or they could use it to buy this or do, I don't know. But I know that it's kind of a big deal. So they say, exploited a vulnerability in Facebook's code that impacted View As, a feature that lets people see what their own profile looks like to someone else, et cetera, et cetera. And so they're on the lookout trying to figure out what happened. Now, the breach was on Tuesday, but it wasn't made public until Friday.
Well, yeah, everything's better over the weekend.
Yeah, well, actually,
it lessens the impact.
If you work in public relations, here's something that you know. If you've got bad news, when do you release it? Friday afternoon. Mm-hmm. Friday afternoon is when you release bad news, because
it's the same thing like when you get fired on a Friday afternoon.
The reason they do that is even though we've got 24-hour news networks, the people that report the news are just like everybody else. They're looking forward to the weekend. So when somebody leaks a little something, it might still make the news, but it almost never gets carried into the Saturday news cycle.
Well, also you yourself are like, you know what, I've had a lot this week.
I'll look at it on Monday.
Yeah, you'll take a break from all the news stuff over the weekend, and then by Monday, they hope that it's gone.
So you might want to take some time, and even if, that's the thing, is like, well, I don't use Facebook. If you have an account, it might be worth taking a look, changing your password, something like that. They also say that, well, I could read you a bunch of quotes, but bottom line, they're looking into it. There's somebody that's in the House or the Senate that's looking at like filing some kind of charges, and in the EU or the UK, I'm sorry, they could end up facing a very significant fine because of this data breach. So, yeah, that story is ongoing, but again, I don't feel like a lot of people are talking about it today because we're all just like, yeah, whatever. I don't have any privacy left.
There's nothing left to speak of.
Whatever.
We thought about selling the worst of the riot, but let's be honest, no one is buying this stuff. Get it for free on the RadioU app.
So, everybody's talking about this new Halloween movie that's coming up, and it's got some involvement with the original creator. His name's John Carpenter. And John Carpenter is a director, writer, musician. Mm-hmm. And he has written and directed and musicianed all kinds of stuff out there.
That stuff we're all saying yay to, but
no. I mean,
just there.
If you look at the longer John Carpenter's career has gone on, the more you're like, oh, that one's not so good.
Well, you gotta pays the bills.
That one's not so good. So he hasn't directed a movie in a long time.
Really?
But because of he made the original Halloween movie,
He's
and they're
back
doing
in.
right, and someone else is making the new one. He's out there doing the talk show circuit and doing all these interviews and all this stuff. And I just love this. Dude is. And he's got to be in his 70s now, right? Maybe he's in his 60s. I'm not sure. I'm not looking at a photo of him. I'm just guessing because he was making movies in the early 70s. Okay, yeah. It says here he's 70 years old.
That's older to be still doing movie stuff.
It's awesome. Like, fantastic. But he does say, he's like, yeah, I'm kind of interested in making another movie. He says he hasn't had a story that's come along that's made him really want to go back and direct a movie. And he's got two things that he really likes. And he doesn't like the idea of work getting in the way of these two things that he likes. And I love
What are
this.
the two things?
Well, the first one is basketball, Nikki.
He likes basketball?
He loves basketball.
Very odd.
He loves to play basketball, but especially watch it.
Does he want to do the new
loves
Space
watching
Jam
basketball.
with LeBron James?
That's perfect.
A John Carpenter
A
production.
John Carpenter
That would be
Space Jam?
really odd. I don't know.
If you guys don't know, he makes some pretty far out movies, man.
Yes, that's the way to put that.
Okay, but there's something else that he loves. Video games.
Okay, well, that fits, I think, more.
Here's what he says.
Nicer.
To play video games, you have to sit in a chair and not get up and do anything. I love that. That's my job now, to sit around and do nothing.
That's in the 70s. He's playing video games. He's that old.
That's hope for my future.
You could still be doing that then.
I'll be 70 playing video games, probably not watching basketball, but football. I like to watch college
just
football.
sitting around playing a game.
Sitting around playing video games, watching, in my case, football. Yes.
Okay.
That's my job now, to sit around and do nothing.
So at 70-something,
Right.
what game do you think he's playing?
I wish he would tell us. Wouldn't you like to know?
Like, does he play Fortnite? Or?
What does a 70-year-old, world-renowned horror/action movie director, what is he playing? I have no idea.
Let's see if maybe he'll
say.
answer it.
And I just say, Entertainment Weekly, good job on getting an interview, bad job on not having the follow-up question.
That's what I actually want to know.
Where is the
I don't
follow-up
know.
question?
Does anybody's grandfather play video games? And maybe if we take a poll, we'll see whose does and what they're actually playing.
Well, there's a guy, he's a podcaster I listen to. His dad is in his 60s, and they play Battlefield together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something. And I met this guy one time he was an older dude who was way into strategy games. So, like, he played Civilization.
So here's some more news on it. It says John Carpenter did the narrating for Fear 3. And his son got him interested.
Fear 3. Okay, the game.
Yeah,
All right.
in the
I
game.
played that.
And console video games. So he was obsessive with Sonic the Hedgehog, Borderlands 2,
Yes!
BioShock,
Okay. Oh, yes.
the Dead Space series,
Yeah, okay.
The Last of Us.
You know what?
So that's it.
All of that sounds spot on.
Mm-hmm.
BioShock, The Last of Us, Dead Space. If I expected John Carpenter to be playing something.
That's what he's been playing, at least in the past. So currently, I'm not sure, though.
We should get him on the show. John, talk to us. What are you playing these days?
In your 70s, what does someone play at that age?
What do we have to look forward to when we become young like you? You have to play with him on the age thing, guys, or he's going to leave the interview.
The Riot with Obadiah.
Them honey buns and Cheetos done caught up with me.
The Riot with Nikki.
Yeah, she's a liar, because I don't know her. So whatever she says is a lie, so...
The Riot, RadioU.
You know, I hate that we have to have this discussion, but I just want to let you know that the celebrity that has been contacting you online to tell you how much they love you and how they're having money problems, and if you could just help them, then you guys could finally be together, that's not real.
No. Oh, just the shock, right?
Nikki,
Is that...
someone did it.
No one's falling for it.
Yes,
No,
someone is.
no.
There are people
it's
that
the
are
new
falling.
new royalty that contacts you, but now it's a Hollywood superstar.
All right. You
What's
ready?
the superstar?
Okay, well, there's a woman named Mary. It's her anonymous name. She was willing to talk to a news organization, but she wasn't willing to give, like, you guys
all
can't
the
put my real
details.
name out there. Yeah. But she has been corresponding with Bruce Springsteen
Oh, that was the Apple gift, or that was the gift card thing, was it? Dude, if someone wants you to pay them in gift cards,
well, see, here's the thing
working.
This is what's amazing. This is the long con. This person who had this account set up as Bruce Springsteen, they chatted for more than a year.
With a lady? Oh.
Then after a year, the messages, she said, turned flirty.
Yuck.
And this fake person was like, yeah, I'm trying to divorce my wife. All the bank accounts are tied up and I need help. Can you send me iTunes gift cards?
No, for what? For why? Are you going to live off iTunes gift cards?
So
can you eat them?
She ended up sending $11,500.
Really? That's too bad, man.
Yeah.
How many scams does this person who set this up has? How many do they have going on?
I don't know, but check this out. This happens more than you think.
Yeah, I know, especially with older people.
Oh, all right. But check this. I've got a friend of mine. He has a friend, and I think I can say this because I don't think they're tied in enough to this, but she's a nurse. Mm-hmm. So, okay, a nurse, not dumb.
Yeah.
You're a nurse, all right?
But compassionate.
Yes. So she became online friends with a doctor who was working with a relief organization.
Oh, and so they asked for money too. Oh.
So that friendship went on for about 6 months, and then they started asking for help, and pretty soon she sent almost her entire savings account.
Oh, really?
I don't know exactly how much, but let's just say 5 figures to the left of the decimal point.
Oh, no.
A lot of money.
Yeah, so the key is for these cons, they take their time.
Yes.
So they build that relationship.
So that's exactly right. Like, nobody's going to fall for the, hey, I just got a message from
the IRS.
Yeah, it's real.
Trouble.
That's not really going to get you, but these long-term.
Pull you that way.
Isn't it crazy?
That's too bad.
And then somebody else, that's like their job all day. They're just sending weird fake chats to people for like a whole year.
They got to live that life of lies with all these people.
Dude.
To live off iTunes gift cards.
I'm just saying, be careful out there. But you can send us an iTunes gift card.
No.
Wish the worst of the riot would never end?
Everything that has a beginning has an end.
What is wrong with you? Get our daily podcast through iTunes, Google Play, or the RadioU app.
So yesterday I got a chance to do some public speaking, and I talked to a group of people about just basically the struggles I've had for the last few years with depression. Here's the funny thing. It's people start to get uncomfortable when you start talking about depression because, one, some people don't think it exists. Mm-hmm. Two, some people think, well, if you just quit drinking soda, then you won't be depressed anymore. It's just a matter of just change.
Have you heard that one or something? Oh, yes.
Just change your diet.
Or 3.
Man, you guys don't even know how many different things I've tried. They're like, this is the sure answer. This will fix it. You won't be depressed anymore.
I think some people get uncomfortable, too, because I think a lot of people face it more than they acknowledge.
Sure.
And so it's uncomfortable for them to hear about because it really hits home.
Yeah, it's not something that you really want to talk about. And I totally get that. But here's the thing that I love. If you're somebody who, whether you would call yourself depressed or you're just in the middle of a hard time, a lot of times when we start talking to people, you can see them getting uncomfortable. If they're a good friend, they might stick around with you through it, or they might stick around like for a little bit. But after a while, they're like, okay, looking for the first exit here, maybe the second one, but I got to get out of here. Here's what I love about God is that God's the kind of guy that just sits down. I mean, you can talk to God and God is not going to be like, whoa, TMI. All right, let's get on to something a little more cheerful. Did you watch the Buckeye game on Saturday night? Wow. And let me tell you, when you're God, the seats are amazing. No, that's not where God's at. God will sit down. Jesus loves you so much that what you are in the middle of, you can talk to him about anything you want. And here's the other thing I love. You don't have to be pretty about it. You can actually talk to God exactly what you're feeling about, whatever words you need to use, no matter how ugly you think it is, no matter how much you think that you need to, fight it. I want you to know that you can be completely honest with God because God loves you. God wants to be there for you, and he wants to help you through it. So look, if you don't have a relationship with God, I want you to know that you're kind of missing out, really, because I'm talking about a friendship with somebody that can handle you at your worst. If you don't have it, get it. Say, Jesus, I want that. I want you to come into my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I need help. And here's where I'm at. And you know what? You can literally right now where you are, tell God everything that's going on. Even if you're just mad, you can talk to God about being mad. It's fine.
There are two types of people in this world, and neither one of them likes the Riot. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki, I don't want for a minute for you to think that I am, in what I'm about to say, in any way calling into question how much you love your dog.
Oh, sure.
I know how much you love your dog.
I love my dogs.
But you know, Nikki...
I have 2 dogs.
Oh, right. Okay.
I might post on social media maybe my other dog more.
Oh, your better looking dog.
No, I don't know why, but I do have 2 dogs.
He's got more personality.
He is more active.
He's very floppy.
Yes, he is. He's very cutie. So is my other dog, though.
Sure he is.
So Snickers and Rollo.
I see Snickers all the time on social media.
No, he's older. He doesn't want to be posted.
He's out of that phase?
He's out of that phase. He'd prefer not to. He just wants to live his life. Whereas Rollo's younger and is like, wee, put me on. And he doesn't mind.
Well, here's the thing that I was looking at here is that I just wonder if you're allowing your love for your dogs to turn you into an enabler. Because your dogs could be doing things they're not doing right now. They could be pushing out there, getting careers, making something of themselves. And you're just
they could be working?
You're just like, you know what? Stay home and let mama feed you. Just have a good time. Just relax.
Actually, Rollo does just like to sleep in bed during the day.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is I take a look at the 10th annual Surf City Surf Dog Competition.
Why ain't my dog surfing?
That happened Saturday in Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Nikki... That could be your dog.
Could be there.
Rollo could be a surfing dog. Mm-hmm. But instead, he's just at home sleeping right now.
But I think that's what he likes. Dogs require more sleep, and he hasn't started training. I don't think he could make it by... Is it Saturday, you said?
No, it was last Saturday.
Oh, we missed it. That's too bad.
I know, but that's the thing. It's the Monday after the Saturday, which means right now, we're as close to next, or as far from next year's as we will be.
As possible, so I got to get him started.
It's time to start.
Maybe can he do boating or something instead of surfing? Or is there anything else we could think of? A doggy career in some other sport?
I think surfing.
Surfing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think you should have him out there surfing. All these people out there surfing with their dogs look terrified.
They'll just wearing this little life vest like, if I fall off, oh my gosh, I hate this.
It's so funny. Everybody's like, the dogs are having a blast.
This is great.
And I mean, maybe I'm just anthropomorphizing, but it looks to me like that dog is terrified.
Yeah, my dog, Rollo, has enough anxiety, so he does not need to be placed in that high impact or just, that's a lot going on, and I don't want to put him in that.
Well, you know what, Nikki? Here's what you need to do. You have to start small. You just spend time with him on the beach.
Take him to the shallow water.
Yeah, then you start forcing him into the water.
No, he doesn't like to go in very deep. He can barely make it at the doggy beach.
Well, I'll tell you, it doesn't look like these dogs are really
out there.
I think we're pretty close to the shore here.
Do we get prize money? I want to make sure, is it worth the investment and the time and stuff? Because I got to get him a little life jacket.
So his happiness is you put a price tag on it.
He's not going to be happy doing that. I know he's not.
Have you tried it?
None of us will be happy.
You know, Nikki,
I got to take him.
This is why people
I
never...
got to be a doggy mom.
Yeah, that's right. This is why people never learn to play the piano, because they think they won't like it. So they never give it a chance.
So I'm not even trying.
And then they grow up and they're musically...
He can swim. At least he can do that. He can just swim.
Oh, okay.
We've got the basics covered.
Hey, guys, I know. Hey, look, I found the bar. Maybe we could just lower it some more.
No, I don't have to take
Let's just take it down like 2 more notches.
Listen, my dog likes to sit down and just do nothing. He's not going to go be a surfer dog.
Nikki, is real love letting your dog do what it wants, or is real love pushing your dog to realize its full potential?
I cannot be a helicopter doggy parent.
You should.
I just can't.
Oh, so it's back to being about you.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
Nikki, could you just carry the rest of the show?